Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another tutorial with FB Designs. I am Rob, your host, and today we're going to be learning how to make motion graphics. Should be simple, fun, and relatively quick. So let's get started. First, go on over to After Effects, create a new composition. Let's name it Main. 1920 by 1080 is good. 30 frames a second is fine. 10 seconds is long enough. Perfect. Let's go down here to Fit. Go to your pen tool. One click. Hold Shift. Click again. As you can see, my stroke is at 28 with the color of a goldish yellow. Next, we want to go down, open up Contents, open up Shape, go to Stroke, and change your line cap from butt cap to a round cap. And what that does is gives us nice rounded edges. All right, so next thing we want to do is right click, go to New, go to Text. I did this to give it a little bit of contrast. You, of course, can do whatever your heart desires. I encourage you to be creative. I did this just to get a little bit more contrast. Let's go to our Move tool. Let's get this drug over here. We can expand this just a little bit. Move it over. Right about there. And then just go ahead and fill this out, just like so. Pretty centered up with our line. Looks pretty good. So next thing we want to do is on our text layer, scroll it down, make sure text is selected, go to position, go to animate, and then we want position. Take your position, move your letters or your words up above your bar. Take a keyframe it, about a second in. Let's bring it down to where we want it, right about there. Looks good. So now, as you can see, we got movement from above the bar to below the bar. Also, what you want to do is select both your keyframes. Hit F9 to ease them. Go to your graph editor. If you don't see this, right click. If you don't see this, right click. Make sure Edit Speed Graph is on. Now what we want to do is take our handles and move them in towards the center. So now what we have is the letters dropping down a little bit faster. Perfect. Okay. With your timeline back to the beginning of your composition and your text highlighted, you want to go up, go to the rectangle tool, and then what we're going to do is create a box and make sure your bottom line is right at the bottom of your bar, just like so. Go down to your mask, click subtract. And now if we scroll through, you get that. Next, go back to your shape layer, open it up, make sure contents is selected, go to add, and we want a trim path. Open up your trim path, make sure you're on your first frame of your composition. Click end, zero it all the way down. So somewhere right about there. Bring it up to 100 so your line's in and then your text is dropping. Now this will be strictly preference, so I implore you to get in there and just play with it until you get it to where you want it. For this tutorial, this is just fine by me. Again, though, let's go into our trim path, select both your keyframes, hit F9, and we're going to go ahead and just make that a little bit quicker. And let's see how this looks. Oh, no, we don't want that now, do we? So let's go back on that. You could hit Control Z to go back to. So, oh, okay. I see what's going on here. We got to zero it all the way out. There we go. All right. Now we can readjust this and make it a little bit faster. So what it's doing is it's starting out slow, going up fast, coming back down, coming back out fast, and then slowing down. Let's go ahead and preview this. And there we go. If it's too fast for you, like I said, just readjust your keyframes in your edit speed graph. Make sure you're not in edit value graph. But for this tutorial, that's fine. That works for me. Okay, now in the preview, this bar was going from right to left. And right now it's going from left to right. To change this, go to your shape layer, open it up, go to your shape, and right here under your path, you can reverse it. And there you go. Now, with everything that you learned for doing this line, is basically what you would do for creating the motion graphics that you've seen in the preview. But for the purpose of this tutorial was to just show you how to do something simple like this for a logo, for a simple intro. But what I did was I used Motion Bro, Toco Pack, and if you can afford to get something like this, I highly suggest you do, especially if you're going to be designing professionally. And I just used one of their bursts. As you can see, it's just simple circles, like this one, for instance, that you're seeing up here now. Oh, well, here, we'll go ahead and use that. Nah, I don't want your font. Okay. By the way, it's going to put it wherever your timeline marker is set. So if it would have been back here, it would have put this back here. So it's just so everybody knows. Okay, now this is just a group of circles coming out of Z space and then fading, and then a fade and opacity with a slight trim path. So that's how simple that is to make. If you want me to do a tutorial on how to make something like that, I can do that. That's no problem. So, all right. So let's double click. Let's go to Effects and Controls. We can go to Control. Let's change these colors to something that we have in our text, like a green and maybe like a gold. Go back to our main composition. Hit S on your keyboard. Let's scale this down some. Take it. Oh, let's make sure you're on the move tool. We'll place it over here in the corner. So the letter just drops and then those start. So that's perfect. That'll work. And then we can go back. We can pick another one. Because basically all we're doing is filling up some of this blank area in the background. Now, you got to be careful with this because you don't want to overdo it. Let's see. So as that's going, again, we need to scale this down. So hit on S on your keyboard. Let's scale that down a little bit. And we'll throw this over here in this other corner. There we go. Something like that. Double click to go into the composition. Go to Effects and Controls. And we'll leave it with white. We're going to have a little bit of blue in our background, which we're about to do next. Let's see, where's the yellow at? Okay, instead of yellow, let's go with a lighter green. Yeah, there we go. That looks pretty good. Go back to our main composition. Hit RAM review. And there we go. Something like that. Pretty simple. Like I said, just leave a comment down below if you want me to teach you how to make these accent motions. Actually, I don't... Motion graphics is what they're really considered, but they're pretty simple to do. Okay. Now, also what I did in the preview was I added a glow. But I do have to admit, it was using a paid plugin. You can do this with regular glow from After Effects that comes with After Effects, but if you can afford to get something like Deep Glow or, buy Red Giant Universe Glow or Red Giant Universe Glow comes with it, then I would suggest going that route if you're doing this. If you're going to be designing professionally, it'll save you a ton of time. But in this case, I use deep... Well, here, let's do this so I can show you the difference here. Just regular glow from your installed After Effects. Drop it on top of the FB Designs. And as you can see, it doesn't really do much with it. I mean, we could turn it up and blow it out, but it's only really affecting the solid text and not so much the outline text. I mean, this plugin does do a lot. You can do a lot with it in other instances, but for this case, it wasn't the way to go. That's why I didn't use it. And you'll see the difference when I drop in Deep Glow. It's night and day. Matter of fact, we have to back some of this glow off. And this is why I suggest, investing a little bit of money for a better glow plugin. And I didn't even put very much on it. Just something like that. If you guys want me to do a tutorial about using Deep Glow, just let me know. But there's plenty of tutorials out there for them. So I added a little bit of glow. Now let's back that off a little bit because the FB was looking a little blown out. There we go. Something like that. Next, just right click, go to New, go to Solid, name this BG for background, make comp size, click OK. And for this, make sure you take it, drop it below everything else. And this, all I did was just add a gradient ramp. Made it radial. Drug down our black to about the center of the composition. If you scroll out, there's another one another adjustment right here that you can take, and you can bring this all the way out. Something like that. So I have mostly black behind my lettering. Take the white, let's add a bit of blue to it. And we got something like that. I think that's a little bit too dark, so let's lighten this up a little bit. More like a lavender color, I guess you would say. And there we go, folks. Now, of course, you could drag this out. In the preview, I think I drug it out to like 5 seconds. And that was just more accent motion graphics. So it's strictly up to you how far you want to take this. I just wanted to keep this short and simple for everybody. And with that, see everybody on the next tutorial. Thank you for watching.